Well, guess what, folks? Another ridge building, which means more hot air building into the region. But that's actually aided by a strong low situated in the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to be bringing some stronger mid-level winds in across the western parts of our area. And that'll add up to thunderstorms building into the region. Some of them could be severe. Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Brad Warner from Region Weather Live, your YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. And yes, that's right. We do have another ridge building back into our area. And of course, that's going to allow some of those higher dew points back into our region, and that's going to allow the chance for showers and thunderstorms to develop once again. Now, as we go through the early part of the week, we're actually going to have this cold front that's going to sweep from west to east, as you can kind of see here as we are kind of into Tuesday night or so. We've got that cold front moving from west to east, and that's going to be kind of the catalyst for some thunderstorms. And as that cold front pushes eastward, expect those dew points to basically pool up along that frontal boundary as it pushes east. As a result, those CAPE values should also increase throughout the day over the next couple of days, going at least into Wednesday. And so how that's basically going to shake out through the beginning of the week, we're going to have these storms that are going to be pulling out of Montana here tonight, Sunday night, pushing eastward and into the far western parts of North Dakota, maybe northwest South Dakota. Not really expecting much out of this as far as severity. Maybe some stronger winds gusting to 50 miles per hour on some of those counties in the far west, but ultimately we're expecting those thunderstorms to die off. Now, as we get into Monday, we're looking at some of those storms basically reloading more so into Canada, and our best chance, at least for our region, will be in this northwest to north central parts of North Dakota. Notice here how some of those storms basically develop and then just track to the northeast and just move across some of these counties, mainly in northwestern parts of North Dakota. Now, no, we do have some pretty strong mid-level winds running through that area. What we might be lacking a little bit is that good, strong CAPE values in that region. So we've kind of got one thing, but not maybe necessarily the other exactly. But it does look like those CAPE values should increase enough into the mid-50s to near 60 to where we've got the possibility through the evening and the early part of the nighttime hours Monday night that some of these storms running through the northwest could be severe with large hail and damaging winds as they move off into Canada. And on Tuesday, that frontal boundary makes it across central parts of the Dakotas. We've got all this hot, humid air running out ahead of this frontal boundary. And we do have some strong south-southwesterly winds at the mid-levels pushing this frontal boundary along. So what that could spell for Tuesday, particularly across central parts of North Dakota, back into southwestern parts of South Dakota, basically right in through this region. Watch for these thunderstorms to just blow up quickly as we get into the mid and late afternoon hours and then on into the evening, Tuesday evening. And by the time things really get going, we could have a nice line of storms pushing eastward. And some of these storms obviously are going to be severe. Now, at this time, the Storms Prediction Center just has a marginal risk out for this area. But I think this is going to get upgraded. I think this is going to be pulled a little bit back down to the south and west as well. And so we're going to be looking at the possibility of some severe storms erupting across the central parts of the Dakotas, southwest South Dakota, going into Tuesday. Now, we're definitely looking at large hail with these storms as they get going. The likelihood also with some strong damaging winds. And we're not going to be able to rule out the potential for an isolated tornado or two with these storms, particularly as they get going. Once those storms first initiate and blow up and become severe, that early stage is, I think, is going to be the most likely time frame for when we've got the possibility, at least, for maybe seeing our tornado associated with some of these storms. So for those of you in Candu, Devil's Lake, Harvey, down to kind of that Medina, Steele, Sterling, Linton, Strasburg, Mobridge, Gettysburg, down to Pierre, that Murdu, Mission, Winter area, all you guys in through here, be on the lookout Tuesday for that severe weather. Now, by Wednesday, that cold front doesn't make it too far. It kind of pushes into eastern parts of North Dakota, still kind of in that central part of South Dakota. But in some of these areas, it is starting to outrun some of the better mid-level support. Some of these areas further north along that frontal boundary, just because it is running away from some of that better mid and upper level winds, might not have as good a chance of seeing some severe weather. I think there will be a chance, at least. I think ultimately what we might have to focus on is the possibility of some storms basically developing further west into Wyoming and pushing into South Dakota as we get into the evening hours Wednesday night. So again, we're going to have have the chance of some showers and thunderstorms developing along this frontal boundary here on Thursday. A few, again, could be severe with some large hail, maybe some damaging winds associated with it. But I think by this point on Thursday, determining where exactly this frontal boundary will be and kind of where some of these storms will be is kind of a little bit out there at this point to say exactly who's going to get the storms on this day on Thursday. And then on Friday, we might make a little more movement on that frontal boundary. We've got a high pressure system settling into the area, kind of pushing some of those higher humidities down to the south. And so we're looking at thunderstorms developing along that frontal boundary and back to the southwestern parts of South Dakota again. But I think to determine where exactly and how strong they'll be is going to be difficult at this point. Just we're talking quite a ways out there by this time. So we're just going to have to kind of wait and get a better handle on this as we get closer to Friday. All right, real quick, the high temperatures expected through the week. Look at this for Monday, 90s to probably very likely some triple digits across central parts of South Dakota. Tuesday, more of the same, plenty of 80s and 90s, but you're starting to see the effect of that cold front move through. And then again, that frontal boundary kind of sitting in through here on Wednesday. So we've got the hot temperatures, the 90s out ahead of it, and then the 70s back behind it on Wednesday. Thursday, that front continues to knock down the heat for some areas, but down in the southeast, we're still looking at the upper 80s to around 90. And then Friday, we're looking at the 70s north, 80s to the south. And by Saturday, most areas should be pretty comfortable, 70s and 80s. And then it looks like Sunday, things should warm up a little more across the south once again. So be on the lookout for the possibility of severe weather. Now we're looking at kind of Monday evening and Monday night running through the northwestern parts of North Dakota. And then on Tuesday's probably going to be the main day this week that we're really going to focus on, and that's like I said, central to kind of that James River Valley area, Devil's Lake, down in through the Missouri River of South Dakota, that Oahe, Lake Oahe area, so Pierre down to Winter, and then maybe kind of back to the southwestern parts of South Dakota as well. So we're looking at the possibility of some large hail, damaging winds, and like I said, can't rule out the possibility at least of an isolated tornado or two. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button down below and make sure you hit the bell button that pops up beside it, because I will be on live once these storms pop up this week to keep you informed. So you're going to want to tune in for that. Finally, it looks like we've got a day worthy of popping in live and tracking some storms. So tune in for that, and we'll keep you updated as we go through the week here, especially Monday and Tuesday. All right, everybody, for Region Weather Live, I am meteorologist Brad Werner. Everybody, have a good day.